Let the post-mortem begin. It's the North London Derby review, right here on the Crowing Cockerel podcast.
Hello and welcome to another therapy session with the Crowing Cockerel podcast, picking apart the disaster of the North London Derby. I'm absolutely amazed we've all turned up, but hello again, chaps. Hi, Tom.
Hello, boys.
Hi, Mark.
Good evening.
So none of us were particularly positive. I felt bullied into predicting a 1-0 win just because it's a Spurs pod, and I felt that if we all predicted a loss, then we'd probably get criticised for not being real Spurs fans. But in reality, I think the result is probably what we expected, but could we have expected a little bit more, perhaps?
Oh, hell yes. I mean, that first half especially was absolutely abysmal. I mean, I don't know how I haven't even had a chance to watch all the post-match stuff.
Yeah, we should say that we are recording this. What is it? About 2 hours after the game has finished. So we thought it would be a good idea just to jump straight on, and so yeah, it's about 2 hours after the game has finished.
So it's still quite raw and still no time to be objective and take things at face value and to diagnose things with an analytical mind. This is just pure frustration.
It's a therapy session. It's got to be a therapy session because, to be honest, I just want to hide in a hole. I mean, it was just pathetic. It was worse than pathetic. It was, what on earth was that first half?
Well, I'm gonna put it out here right from the start, and I genuinely mean this. I'm glad we got thrashed today, because I think Thomas Frank deserves it for whatever the hell that was, for whatever the hell that team was that he put out. It was an absolute disgrace, and he deserves to get thrashed, because what do you think is going to happen when you put a team out like that? And we've talked about it all year. With a mentality like that, it just sends completely the wrong message. This is a North London derby, for God's sake, and you put a team out like that. Come on. So we deserved it.
Yeah, I agree. He deserves it. I think the team has to take, players have to take some of that flack as well. But a few weeks ago, I was frustrated with Frank with some of his suggestions around how the team performed, and how, to me, it felt like in that particular game it was all to do with actually really poor attitude. I saw a little bit of the pre-match stuff where he was talking about how intense they wanted to be in the press, and that's why he'd set them up in the way they'd done it. Didn't see it. Didn't see any intensity in that first half at all. When Arsenal had the ball in their own half, we let them have it, and we backed off, and we invited pressure. So what was anybody expecting that result to be, other than the absolute pasting we ended up getting?
Well, and we're not coming up this kind of with hindsight. All of the messages that we were sharing before the game, when that lineup came up, were the same. We all said the same thing. Well, nothing's going to happen here. Like, we're playing five at the back. Nobody in midfield that's got any creativity whatsoever. I don't understand what else you could have expected from that game other than exactly what happened. And you say the comments before the game, after the game as well, he's talking about, oh, this is apologies to the fans, and it's exactly the opposite of what was meant to be happening, and we were meant to be aggressive in the press. I don't buy it. I do not buy it, because there is not a single second of that game where any player looked like they'd been told to aggressively press. It's exactly as you said, Tom. We dropped back 30 yards from our goal and let them play. And it's exactly what we said and feared would happen.
Where were we supposed to be aggressively pressing? I mean, you could say we aggressively pressed, but we weren't ever aggressively pressing their back line, were we?
No,
So,
not in
and
the way
then
that Arsenal did to us.
and then they just completely, they completely played through us. It got to the edge of our box time and time again. They should have scored in the first 2 minutes. It was an absolute warning, and then really nothing happened for half an hour, and then, but nothing happened in half an hour. And what I really hated more than anything is it just looked like our only tactic was to lump it in the box from a free kick in our own half. That is
Yeah.
all we had. Everybody got really excited when Vicario could boot it from 60 yards, and they all went up into the area, and then it went to Danso, went near challenge, and that was all that happened from our point of view in the first half. We had no idea how to get out at all.
Yeah. I think you're being kind by calling it a tactic.
Yeah.
Let's be honest,
Well, it obviously
what-
been practiced. That's obviously
Yeah.
a thing, isn't it? Because it was
But-
like, oh, we got a free kick there, so Vicario's going to take that free kick and he's going to lump it into the back post, and Dance's going to try and get it back across the box.
What I saw there was, and I'm not going to call it a tactic. I don't know, but it's basically that was a non-league team in the third round of the FA Cup going to the Emirates, knowing that 1 to 11 they were completely outclassed. So therefore, you're just going to get as many people behind the ball as possible, hope for the best, and then lump it up the pitch as far as you can.
Yeah.
That's what I saw.
Well, we said, didn't we? Playing a back five could really work for this squad because it would allow the wing backs to get forward. It was, allow a transition. We could be fluid. We could almost have a hybrid system, back five system, maybe even with Paulinho being the sort of hybrid centre back to drop in and doing it that way. We'll just play five across the back, absolutely defensively, with two midfielders in front of him. I'm not absolutely anti Bentancur. I think he gets a bit too much blame for just being what he is. But he didn't actually touch the ball in the first half. He just had to run between spaces. We weren't even trying to get the ball. It's just absolutely unbelievable. And we've got the messages on our phones, haven't we? There was points where you looked at the way that Arsenal support each other. Somebody's got the ball. There's somebody as an outball for them. Somebody's in trouble, 2 or 3 players straight away. So yes, if they lose the ball, they're going to win it back quickly as well. We don't do any of that. Oh, Odegaard's got the ball over there. Right, let's see if he can take on 6 players.
Yeah. Yeah, before the game, the team came out and part of me went, okay, actually, oddly, we have the squad to play this sort of match, to play this formation. 3 at the back, especially when you think about how good players like Van der Ven are at bringing it forward, how good Paulinho is at breaking up play, how, in theory, we've got pacey wingers in Kudus and Odegaard to try and catch them on the break, but we didn't keep possession. We didn't close them down quick enough. I think the warning sign for me as well, any sort of hint of optimism I had was crushed before the game kicked off, because Sky showed these warm-up shots of our entire back five in a line doing these back and forth little movements, and I'm going, right, so that's all you're going to do, and go back to the first goal.
Yeah.
Which was embarrassing because none of them
is 3 yards behind everybody.
Well, none of them went with the runner. I'm sorry, if you've got 5 at the back, that means there should be no runners. You should be on every single one of those. And I think the biggest thing for me was we went into this game saying Arsenal are not a good watch. Arsenal are not a good team to watch playing football. They're almost like the uber frank with regards to being pragmatic and getting results, but we made them look good. We made that Arsenal team look like they could pass it around and play with freedom and flair. And for me, it wasn't about that. It was about us and how static and uninventive we were.
Yeah. And again, what on earth is going through the analysts' minds? And, when they're looking at our team and going, do you know what our tactic needs to be? Vicario needs to be the one playing it up to Richarlison. Well, Richarlison can't compete. He's not competitive against a decent centre-back in the air, like with his back to goal. Vicario gets the ball and he looks like he's only just learning how to kick a football.
Yeah. He's
his
no
body
Edison,
shape's
is
all
he?
wrong. He's a fantastic shot stopper. I think he's improving on commanding his box, but he is not a playmaker, his goalkeeper. So, yes, don't be faffing about with it, but at the same time, it shouldn't be our go-to to try and get it back to Vicario so he can lump it up to Richarlison. If that, it's really concerning. And let's be perfectly honest, it's not like this is just because it was against Arsenal, away at Arsenal. They are top of the league. This is off the back of a pathetic performance against Chelsea and getting absolutely battered at home by Bournemouth and a home form that's appalling. And yes, the away points have been decent.
We've broken our record again, didn't we? We broke our XG record again. The record that we managed to get against Chelsea in the other most important game of the season, we managed to break it again this time, 0.07. And amazingly, we scored a goal in that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
fair play
Yeah.
to Richie for that. Fair play.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Out of
but-
nothing. Out of nothing. And actually, in the last pod, Mark, you said it doesn't matter who you play against. If you put pressure on a defence, if you're tight to
the
them,
one time we did it.
absolutely, it led to something. I mean, a fantastic something. He was obviously watching the Scotland-Denmark game, I think,
Yeah.
from earlier in the week. But yeah, great finish. But it was out of nothing. It was I mean, is there anything else to take out of that game other than a decent goal?
That second half, in a way, made me even more angry because let's face it, they're a better team than us, all right? We said that last week. They're a better team than us. We didn't expect to win. We hoped we might be able to get a draw, but the likelihood was that we weren't going to win that game. I can accept that. But the second half, at least we played football. At least we tried to compete. And that just made me even more angry because of what happened in the first half. It's not like we don't have players that can compete. And it just feels to me that Thomas Frank is, at the moment, a hindrance to our progress. When he does stuff like that, it cannot be helping.
So how close are you boys to Frank out? Is this the last chance saloon now, or do you think that this, the chance has already gone?
I think the reality is that he will be here for the season.
One of you said that you were hoping that this game could be an era-defining game for Thomas Frank, where he really kind of kick-starts it all. I think that it could be an era-defining game for the wrong reason. You can already see it. He gets fired 2 or 3 months down the line. They're going to look back to the Chelsea and the Arsenal game and the absolute disgrace that they were, and it's like, this is where it really, really hit rock bottom for us.
We do have 3 major injuries, don't we? We have Kulusevski out, we have Maddison out, and we have Solanke out. But Thomas Frank has got Xavi, he has got a fit Richarlison, and he had a fit Kalamawani. He could have played as well. And he's got Kuderson, who's a pretty good player to come in for Kulusevski. That the previous manager didn't have that. He's also kept, and I'll give him some credit for keeping Van der Ven fit and Romero fit, which most football people will understand that is a decent centre-back partnership. Yeah. I'm struggling to see where his excuses are now.
Yeah,
because he's got Sarr back, he's got Bergvall back. He's not having to play this way, and we're not doing anything that makes us look like we're going to achieve anything in the league. We're already out of one cup. We're not winning the Champions League. So basically, what is this season? Is it just for Thomas Frank to bed in? And if he's going to do that, then my goodness, try and do something that at least is going to progress us, because you can't play football. You just can't. It's embarrassing.
Well, it's not
pathetic.
Football. It's
It's
not football. I
embarrassing.
go back to what I said a few weeks ago. It's anti-football. There was only one team interested in playing football in that first half, and it wasn't us.
Yeah, I was thinking earlier on this week about what was it with Frank at Brentford that got me excited when he got appointed with us, and the first thing was the results he was able to get against the big boys. He had a decent records against the big teams. And
But Tom, you've got to remember, right, that Brentford go to Chelsea, Brentford go to Arsenal. A lot of people, it's a bit like when Brentford go to Spurs. The crowd isn't massively up for it. There isn't that sense that it's a huge game.
I get that, but he's still got to take a team to a Premier League side, and his away record was pretty good with Brentford as well, and get a result, and he did that on a number of occasions, he surprised the big boys. And for me, especially when it's an area we seem to really struggle with, we don't often get results against the other big six teams. That was a real plus point. Obviously, we got it happened against City, but it doesn't feel like it's gonna happen for us right now, not with the way we're playing. The other thing was he had a front three at Brentford that you could argue was the equal to any front three in the Premier League with Wissa, Mbuemo, and Tony. And I was thinking, how good were those players when he brought them in? How much credit does Frank get for turning those players into one of the best front threes in the Premier League? And if you're saying one of the best front threes in the Premier League, by the way, you're saying one of the best front threes in world football, because that is the quality of the Premier League. So if you've got those quality front players, what was Frank doing to make those players click? But because he isn't doing it for Tottenham, he isn't improving Odegaard, he isn't improving Richarlison, he isn't improving Kudus. Kudus has a good season, his stats are good, but they were good at West Ham. So I don't know if he just got lucky with those players, if the recruitment was great. I don't know if he had attacking coaches at Brentford that looked after it. Was it Keith Andrews? For me, I'm looking to see any sort of chink of hope that the quality that Brentford showed in their attack is transferable to us, and I haven't seen it. Just haven't.
Yeah, well, I'd add to that as well, because I was thinking a similar sort of thing, and again, one of the things that we said at the start of the season was that we were looking forward to was kind of Thomas Frank's tactical nous, and the fact that he was this really kind of adaptable, flexible, intelligent coach who could make changes to impact matches and things like that. The fact is, the last two games, he's made substitutions at half time that effectively confirmed that he screwed it up in the first half. He did it against Man United when he brought on Odegaard, and obviously he did it today when he's changed the shape back to the normal shape and brought on Xavi.
They haven't won there for 15 years.
No, exactly.
And they're a decent team now.
Of course
You
they are.
couldn't beat
Of
them when
course
they
they
were
are.
rubbish. So, yeah.
But I'm sorry, to put those two performances in against Chelsea and Arsenal, the two most important games of the season, it's unforgivable. It cannot happen.
And I go back to the point where Frank is responsible for, we were talking before about sort of where do you lay the blame at the players' door or the managers, and the players can't avoid some of the flack that's going to come their way, but the manager creates the intent. If you
Yeah.
want intense pressing, if you want a high press, high energy, that comes from the manager. The manager dictates that. And so when you don't see it, and you don't see it against our two biggest rivals and our two biggest London derbies so far this season, at home and away, alarm bells.
Do you think his personality isn't it? He doesn't come across as very intense, does he? He comes across, very calm and measured, which can be a great thing. But you don't ever get the sense that, he's
I didn't see him on the sidelines being particularly animated. Again, you would
Yeah,
think
I don't believe you need to see it. I mean, when he's talking, he's just very
well,
calm.
he bores me to sleep. In all honesty, I can't stand listening to him. He drives me insane. I just
Look,
find him extremely uncharismatic, and yeah, it just
part of me thinks a calm, pragmatic manager. We said at the start of the season that we would try not to get too high and try not to get too low when things go either good or badly, right? And having a manager that keeps people at a level that ensures that certain standards are continually met, and that there's an element of control, because you get some managers come in and it's chaotic, and you don't want that. And he has proven himself. He's proven himself in the Premier League with Brentford. But I don't necessarily think your character as a manager should necessarily define your tactic or your intent that you give to the players, because you should be, that's something that comes out on the training pitch. You can go over to someone and very quietly say, "Can you run a bit bloody faster, please?" You you don't have to scream in their face. I don't necessarily have an issue with his character. I just have an issue with whatever message he's getting over to the players, because either he's not getting the message across the player, and that's a worry, or And this is even more worrying. He's giving the wrong messages to the players. And honestly, that the latter is kind of what I'm feeling. And do you know what's really annoying? It's really annoying as well. Why did Eze have to get a hat trick?
Well, I was just going to mention the elephant in the room, isn't it? That we probably need to mention. I mean, yeah.
I mean, you say Frank is quite dull. I mean, he tries to be funny by saying Eze who. I
Yeah.
mean, we've been Spurs fans far too long. As soon as you hear that, you go, "Oh,
Yeah, that's getting clipped.
what are you doing?" That is
Eze who?
just
This
so
guy.
obvious now.
Go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And and we gave him all the space that he needed to do, but
Yeah.
he's
He's a good
class
player, so you don't give him any space, do you?
Exactly. The Fulham game is massive. It seems like every game is massive now because we're not seeing any signs of progress, and it's well, at the risk of repeating myself, because I know I said exactly the same before the Man United game, but just let the brakes off. Just let us play and let us go at them. Try and excite the crowd. Do something. At least if we still lose, you can kind of turn around and go, well, this is why I don't play like that. But you can't be the Spurs manager and be racking up XGs of 0.1 and 0.07. You just can't and expect to carry on. You just can't do it.
I think we would get behind Frank more if you could see any sort of pattern or any sort of energy in the team, because if you're going to play in that very low block, in that very pragmatic way, then the one thing you have to be is dynamic up front. The one thing you have to have is pace and intent,
Because it's
and
so bad.
it's so lacking. And you can't blame the personnel with players like Odegaard and Kudus. You've got that pace. I did wonder why, if he's playing two defensive midfielders and three at the back, why he didn't choose someone like Bergvall or Sarr ahead of either Paulinho or Bentancur, because you need someone to at least be able to take the ball away from your back line. I don't know. I don't know what his other options are, because Mark, he isn't going to do it. He's not going to take the brakes off.
Well, then I'm sorry. Then he's not going to be in a job for much longer.
Yeah.
Is he?
Yeah.
If he doesn't, he is not going to be in a job much longer, because that cannot carry on.
Because the way he plays, it means Kudos is playing effectively as a fullback half the time, because we are so deep, and he's trying to take on people in our own half, and that seems to be our tactic. And it's like, you want Kudos on the edge of their box doing that, but he never gets the chance because we never have the ball consistently in that area. Really, really concerning. And again, we're quite raw at the moment, but it's not a one-off, is it? This is what we played 12 games.
Been
I
like
would
it all
say
season.
7 out of those 12 games have been pretty ropey in terms of how we've managed those games.
Well, it's like I said after the Man United game, wasn't it? I had this weird feeling after the Man United game, and I didn't really know what it was. And then I suddenly realised it was that I actually quite enjoyed the game. And it was just a really alien concept that I could actually enjoy watching us, because it hasn't happened this season at all. It was strange, and it certainly didn't happen today. But there you go. Shall we make some predictions?
Yeah, we need to move this on, because otherwise we're just going to be in some despair spiral. And
I don't feel like the therapy is particularly worked tonight.
I mean, sharing is caring, boys. Sharing is caring. But even after this, I might still need to go and scream into the void.
All right. So Paris Saint-Germain, just the European champions, and this time they've actually had a bit of practice before playing us, unlike last time.
Yeah, we're winning 2-0. We're absolutely winning 2-0 all day long. 2-0. Yeah. No.
Wow.
Absolutely not. I'm not an idiot.
Well, go on then. I think, Graham, you should take the first punt of this, because you were the optimist out of us for the Arsenal game. So go on. What do you actually reckon?
I'm optimistic. I think we'll get out of there losing 3-0. Honestly.
Wow.
Honestly. Yeah, I think we've got massive problems. I'm not entirely sure that some of the players are even backing Frank, to be honest.
I'm going to do something which I didn't do last week when, Mark, you went for 2-0, didn't you, against Arsenal? I went for 1-0 because I had slightly more hope than you did. But I wanted to say 2-0, and I also want to say 3-0, and I'm going to also stick to my guns. I think I think the team are struggling. They'll struggle with confidence. Frank will know that the Fulham game is huge, and I think there'll be more rotation again. That isn't going to help. So unless something freak happens, I could totally see us getting spanked. So 3-0.
All right. Well, maybe I'm still a bit concussed from watching that performance. So I am going to say 1-1 draw, and Kalamwani's going to come back and haunt his former employees. 1-1.
Right.
Come on, Spurs.
Well done, Mark. Well done. Fair play.
Well, good luck to you, sir, but you're wrong.
I mean, I'll be absolutely amazed.
Following on from our brave point away in Paris, we then have the small matter of another London derby, not a proper one, but still geographically accurate London derby, at home to Fulham, possibly the most beige team in the Premier League.
Wow.
I mean, after
Okay.
our performance there,
Well,
to be fair,
yeah, true.
break out the
Yeah.
Magnolia.
So, yeah, I mean, what do we think? It's possibly a bad time to be asking, but what do we think?
I mean, you've got to be a little bit sense that there's going to be a reaction. It's at home. Players do have some pride. They are a team that we should be looking to beat at home. You know, I think we'll scrape a 2-1 win. And I do think Kolo Muani will get on, assuming he's fit and can play properly in a mask, because it's like a Abraham Lincoln mask, isn't it?
Yeah, I know. It's a weird one. I've not seen one look like that before.
A chin strap, isn't it?
Yeah.
But
Just
yeah,
holding his jaw in place.
yeah. So yeah, I think he'll get on the score sheet.
All right, Tom.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've got no choice but to get a reaction. And I still rate us as a defensive unit. I think we can come out of there, keep a clean sheet at home. We can get a win. And again, this is more in hope, but I'm going to go for a 2-0 win. And for all the lambasting we've been giving him, he has scored in the last 2 games. So I'm going to go with Richarlison to
Wow.
bag another.
Nice. Fair enough. As much as watching Spurs basically puts me into a coma this season, there is nothing about Fulham that is remotely exciting. There really isn't. So, yeah, in a way, I think it's a good fixture. I agree it's the more important fixture of the week. And I am confident of a bit of a bounce back. So I am going to say we are going to smash the Fulham 3-0. And the one person I can always rely on in times of crisis, my man, Brennan Johnson.
I think that's a good shout, Mark. I think, and it'd be nice to see Brennan back on the side. I hope he gets a shout against PSG.
I think he's really unfortunate at to be getting the minutes, because
He's the best finisher we've got. So, yeah, so Tom, I think you need to cheer us up. There's only one way. There's only one way you can ever cheer us up after what has happened today. We all know what it is. Bring on the Tom's teaser.
Tom's teaser.
Okay, guys. So we had a bit of an Arsenal-related Tom teaser in the last pod. Let's forget all about that now.
Hate them.
And let's focus on a game I'm calling Tottenham Trumps. We all like top trumps, don't we? And basically, what I've done is I've gone on to the EAFC 26 stats for Tottenham players. And you know when you see these little shields that they bring out for the players? And
Yes, absolutely.
oh, they've not got my pace. They've not got my pace number right. I'm well faster than that. All right, doggy, calm down. So what I can tell you is that for the 6 stats they put out there, it's pace, it's shooting, it's passing, it's dribbling, it's defense, and it's physical. So what we're going to do, I'm going to give you a player, and you're both going to give me what you think their score is out of 100 for that, and we'll go alternately. So, you ready?
Ready.
Okay. Because you won last time, Mark, I'm going to start with Graham, and the player we're going to start with is Van de Ven. So we're going to start with Van de Ven's pace out of 100.
92,
94.
Shooting, Graham.
73,
68.
Passing.
71,
That's what I was going to say. Well, I'll go 70.
Dribbling.
79.
72.
Graham, defence.
82.
88.
Graham, physical.
83.
I'll stick with the two fat ladies. 88.
88. Okay, so for pace, Graham, you said 92. Mark, you said 94. It was 90, so Graham gets that one. For shooting, Graham, you said 73. Mark, you said 68. It was 49, which is
Wow.
ridiculous,
Wow.
given how he bangs them in. Passing, Graham, you said 71. Mark, you said 70. It's 64. So that's another one for Mark. Dribbling, Graham, you said 79. Mark, you said 72. 72 is bang on, so you win that one.
Get in.
Yeah, I've gone too high.
Fence, Graham, you said 82. Mark, you said 88. Graham got it bang on, 82.
Only 82.
I know. And physical, Graham, you said 83. Mark, you said 88. It was 80. So, Graham, you win that one, which means 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. You both win that card. Well
Wow.
done. So it's 1-1. The next player is Kudos. Right. Mark, pace.
74.
70.
Mark, shooting.
67.
65.
Passing.
32.
Graham.
I'll say 68.
Dribbling.
83.
84.
Wow. That's
Defending, Mark.
49.
52.
And physical, Mark.
79.
That's what I was going to say. 76.
Right. So for Kudos, Mark, you said 74. Graham, you said 70. It was 89 for pace.
What?
I know.
89?
Yeah.
What was Van de Ven?
Not
90.
89. Oh, he was 90, was he?
Yeah. Shooting, Mark, you said 67. Graham, you said 65. It was 76. So Mark gets that one. Passing, Mark said 32. Graham said 68. Graham wins that one. It was 72. Dribbling, Mark 83. Graham 84. It was actually 86. So Graham takes that one. Defending, Mark, you said 49. It was 52 for Graham, and it was actually down to 60. So Graham gets that one. And then finally, physicality. Mark, you said 79. Graham said 76. It's 74. So Graham gets that one. So he goes 2-1 up. Okay, last card. And we're going for Pape Sarr. So, Graham, pace.
78.
That's 70.
Shooting, Graham.
72.
65.
Passing.
74.
72.
Nice. Dribbling.
75.
68.
Defending.
63.
75.
And physicality.
70.
I was going to say 70. I'll go 72.
Alrighty. So, Graham, for his pace, you said 78. Mark, you said 70. It's 68. So, Mark
I was going to
takes that
say,
one.
I don't think of Sarr as a quick player at
Not
all.
particularly. For shooting, Graham, you said 72. Mark, you said 65. It's 66. So,
Yeah.
very accurate there. For passing, Graham, you said 74. Mark, you said 72. It's 76. So Graham gets that one. Dribbling. Graham, you said 75. Mark, you said 68. It's 78. Which
What?
feels quite hard.
78?
For Sarr, yeah. So that's one for Graham. We've got defence. Graham, you said 63. Mark, you said 75. I'm surprised you went so low there. That's 75, and that goes to Mark because it's 77. Graham, you said 70 for physicality. Mark, you said 72. It's 76.
Yes.
So we're all square 2-2. We need a decider. And what better player to choose than someone who we were just waxing lyrical about just a few moments ago? It's Brennan Johnson. So we're going to go for a one-off shout out here over his shooting prowess. Again, because Mark, you won last week, I am going to let Graham go first. So, Graham, shooting. What are you going to say?
81.
Yeah, I don't think EAFC knows how good he is at shooting. So I am going to say 78.
Graham, you said 81. Mark, you said 78. EAFC thinks Brendan Johnson's shooting is about a 76.
Yeah.
Which is criminal, but it does mean that Mark wins this week's Tom's Teaser. And what that does mean is because Mark won last week and this week, he has clawed it back. So the scores in Tom's Teaser is now 5-all.
Back in the game.
Tom's Teaser.
Oh, well, that's cheered me right up.
There we go.
Yeah.
I can't
thanks,
even
Tom.
think of what game we watched this afternoon anymore.
Thanks,
It's a
thanks,
public
Tom.
service thing.
Yeah. I hope that's cheered up all our listeners as well, because, it's all good fun, isn't it?
Well, maybe we just leave it there then, boys. Because if we do a cock-a-doodle disc now, we're just going to bring everybody down again.
But yeah, no, don't do that. Let's stay nice and high and optimistic.
Yeah, we got 2 games coming up this week, and if we can just lock this week's performance in a box and try and look forward, maybe there's some hope out there to cling on to. I think that's all we can do.
It's the hope that kills you.
There's still only one team in North London with a trophy.
Yes.
There
Come
you
on,
go.
you Spurs.
That's what we needed.
Love it. Right, on to next week. Have a good one, everybody. Come on, you Spurs.